questions from 3, 4A and B, which is my class and Miss Clark's class. So Dom, I've got 5 more questions for you. The first one is, how many hours do you work for each day?
It's a pretty easy question, I can answer that. 8 hours a day. Well, I'm at work for 8 hours, plus we get 2 half-hour breaks, which is pretty generous.
And what time do you start work, Dom?
7:30.
7:30, so very early in the morning.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
usually dark when I have to get up.
And cold.
And cold, in winter.
Next question. Which plants are more adapted to warmer climates?
Oh, that's a good question. So, warmer climate plants, well, you've got warm climate that's tropical and both dry, warm climates. So, I guess I can't say specific, well, I won't tell you specific plants, but there are specific adaptations that plants have for warm, dry climates. Might be very small leaves, so that they don't lose moisture out of their leaves, because obviously it doesn't rain much, say like in deserts. Where on the other hand, say in a warm rainforest environment,
Like up in Queensland?
yeah, like in North Queensland, plants will usually have very big leaves, because in a rainforest you've got to think that there's so many plants around and so many different stories of plants that if you are below the canopy, not much light's getting in, so you need really big leaves in order to catch those filtered sun rays. So
Okay.
I guess that's not so much an adaptation for warmth, more just catching light, but it gets you to think about adaptation. Yeah.
That's a really interesting topic. We might have to do a bit of research on plant adaptations. I
Yeah.
think. The next question asks, which plant are you most interested in and why?
So, I don't know, all plants are pretty interesting, but
Do you have a favourite?
I got a
then?
favourite, which is the river red gum. So you'd see it's probably one of the most common trees around Melbourne, Victoria. Yeah,
And they-
beautiful gum trees.
Do they grow along the river because their name has river in
They
it?
do, yeah, but they also grow. They grow in most places. Yeah, they've got some very interesting adaptations for dealing with floods and drought. Because I guess Victoria and the Murray River area is very prone to flooding and drought. So I don't know if you want to know some of the adaptations. Like, they've got a very long main route that goes down quite deep, which allows them to access water from very deep in the ground when there's a drought.
What about when it rains?
When it rains, they've got this really interesting adaptation whereby their other roots can be submersible, which means that they can float on the water
wow.
and actually get oxygen straight from the air, which is pretty
That's
cool.
amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Dom.
That's all right.
The second last question is, how do you become a scientist? What do you have to do at TAFE?
To become a scientist, I guess you just have to study. You can do a diploma, you can do a degree at university. You might want to, when you go to high school, do some science units like biology. If you're interested in kind of natural, environmental type science, biology is a really good one. But if you're interested more in laboratory type stuff, then maybe chemistry or physics might be good to follow. Yeah.
Cool. And then maybe if you were into more rocket science or machines, you might do
That'd
physics.
be physics and mathematics.
And lots of maths. Cool, that's some good advice for our students. And the final question we have for Dom from the 3-4 students at St Albans Heights Primary School is, do you have a favourite story from nature?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably, yeah. got a lot of really good stories, but probably my favourite was when I was in Tasmania a few years ago on holiday, and I also really like fishing, although I don't do it as much anymore, but yeah, I was walking up, there's a mountain in Tasmania called Cradle Mountain, and I was walking up a little stream, kind of like this, but really very, very beautiful and untouched.
And calm?
Oh no, it was very, very ripply.
Okay.
There were some calmer pools, and I was rock hopping upstream, which is where you just jump from rock to rock. And I stopped because I saw a little ripple in under some overhanging tea trees off to the corner of my eye, and I thought, oh, what was that? So I stood really, really still on the rock, and I had some clothes on kind of like this that were very well camouflaged, and all of a sudden this ripple started swimming towards me.
Oh my goodness, what was it?
It was a platypus, and I was standing on a rock just like this one that I was sitting on, and if you could imagine that all around this rock, the rock was in the very middle of the stream, and there was water all around this rock. The platypus did not see me and came and swam right at my feet.
Oh my goodness.
And then it stopped for a moment and must have realised that something was not quite right.
It could smell you maybe.
Maybe, or it just thought, I haven't noticed that kind of tree-looking thing standing in the middle of the river before. And all of a sudden it took off really quickly.
That
but
sounds like
it
a
was
magic
It was
moment.
magical, yeah. So it's pretty
Wonderful.
special. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dom, for sharing
No
with
worries.
us
Thank you,
today.
Carla.
Nice to have you here,
That's
telling
all right.
us about the environment. And I guess if we've got any more questions, we could always email Dom.
Sure.
Or I think it might be nice to send him a card to say thank you.
That'd be nice.
Okay, thanks.
No worries.
Bye.
See you guys.